good afternoon, or should I say good evening, from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. Oh, sorry, Charlie. It's 5:18 p.m. on the 13th of March 2023. As you can see, I'm looking a bit pale and wan. I didn't get much sleep again last night. It was a bit of a rough night. But I've had a lovely day. I've been back to the Mater Private to see the urologist, and she's agreed to take me off the mirabegron drug and put me on another one that she thinks might help, and if not, there's yet another medication that is quite risky that she'll trial me on. So I'm doing the medication waltz at the moment. Not happy about that. But anyway, I'll speak to her again in a month's time via telehealth so she can check in how this the Solanquin or whatever drug, whatever it's called, works. And then I'm on the waiting list for the urodynamics testing, which is not pleasant. And if they have a cancellation, then I may get into that earlier. So I'm juggling as fast as I can, trying to resolve my health issues. And meanwhile, I'm exhausted and a bit wrung out. But here we are, another lovely day in paradise. Feeling all hot now. I'm sitting at this window. It must be the heat coming in from the window. So bear with me. I'm going to shut the front door. Shut the front door! And put on the aircon so we can do this video journaling in the comfort of my living room without me being scathing hot. Needs to come down 2 degrees, that's better. Right, so I brought Charlie, and I haven't seen Charlie in all day because I came home from seeing the urologist, and then I had to go out again and get the medication and have a late lunch, and I've just been busy today. Tomorrow I'm going to see my GP to get my asthma medication scripts, so it's another job that needs to be done. And I just hate living like this, being constantly chasing my tail, trying to get my health in order, but it's how I live, people. I've been living like this for a very, very long time, most of my life. I'm soldiering on. I told my urologist, because the new drug, not the one she prescribed me today, but the one that she wants to give me to basically calm my kidneys right down, can cause seizures, and you can't have anything to drink an hour before you take it and for the next 8 hours. So I said, what am I going to do on Fridays when I do the tribal moshing? And I said, I can cut back on the Jack Daniels, but I'll still have to have water, because when I'm moshing like that, I'm expending a lot of energy and I'm going to need water at least. No, you can't have water either. And I said, well, what am I going to do? She said, you'll have to skip that medication on that night. Otherwise, she said, it's very dangerous to have drink fluids on that medication for the next 8 hours. So, that's going to be dodgy as fuck, isn't it? And of course, she says if you drink even water, you run the risk of having seizures. So anyway, she hasn't put me on that just yet. That's the next course of action. Anyway, I'm not happy about the idea of having seizures, because I have a history of having hysterical conversions from time to time with my trauma issues, which is kind of like a very small seizure and like small fits. So I haven't had one of those for a long time, so I'm not looking forward to starting a medication that might precipitate that. Anyway, soldiering on, hardening the hell up, because life is beautiful, people, and I will heal by the grace of the gods. But anyway, my urologist was so amused when I said, how am I going to do my tribal moshing when I can't drink or anything? And she went, tribal moshing? I went, yes, my shamanic dance that I do to the hard rock music. I said, I can't dance like that really to anything else because it looks kind of crazy, but that's how I dance. She's like trying not to laugh. She put it in her notes, tribal moshing. She must think I'm quite the oddball, but you know what? I am an oddball. This is how I roll, babies. I mosh on the weekends to counterbalance being an old crone, fuddy-duddy, half-dead old lady during the week. I have one night of defiance and rebellion and wildness when I dance till I drop. And actually the Brooklyn Standard, some of the staff members are wanting me to come Saturday night as well, which would be 2 nights. I don't think I can do it. We'll see what happens when my bladder calms down though. If my bladder settles down, then I'll come out 2 nights. Because the more exercise I get, the more likelihood that I'll build up stamina and get better, right? That's the theory. But too much exercise actually kills me because of my untreated sleep apnea. So it's a very fine balance, teetering on the brink. I'm doing my best to stay alive, people. Just imagine if I had a sexual partner as well. That would be pushing me a little bit over the edge probably, unless he was a wonderful man and I was actually happy. What does that feel like, girls? Tell me what that feels like. Anyway, it could happen one day. It could happen. But first I got to resolve these health issues a little bit more, just calm it down a little bit more so I can dance even more crazily and wildly and have more stamina, and the rest might fall into place too in time, in the appropriate time, with the right person who can tolerate my quirkiness and eccentricities. Someone who finds my eccentricities a bit delightful instead of terrifying and confronting. Anyway, it is what it is, people. I've got to find, that's not right, that's the wrong page. Charlie's going to climb on Mama. Don't climb onto Mama, Charlie. Don't climb onto Mama, Charlie. Here we are. I found it. 13th of March, 2024. Today's offerings is entitled, and it's a long one today, and I'll probably rave on, so, you know, you have the power of the X button. Turn me off if I get on your nerves. I wish I could turn myself off when I get on my own nerves. I've got to live inside this brain. It's a bit amazing at times. Survival of the fittest and the most sanguine. Sanguinosis. I love you. I shared this beautiful meme. Blessed are the gypsies, the makers of music, the artists, writers, dreamers of dreams, wanderers and vagabonds, children and misfits. For they teach us to see the world through beautiful eyes. Do they not, Charlie? And I'm not sure if it's Lindsay Buckingham or Stevie Nicks, but she's dressed like Stevie Nicks. Might be Stevie Nicks. I'm just going to hold that there for a moment. Scroll down. Let's look at her beautiful embroidered coat, and it's just gorgeous. I need to get myself another gypsy shawl, and beautiful embroidered one, or embroider one for myself. Hell, maybe embroider 2, one in black and one in some other beautiful bright colour. Did you just shit, Charlie? Yes, she did. Beautiful bright colours, and I miss having a gypsy shawl. My other one is just worn out, faded and got all runs through it and looks terrible, and I need another one. I need to go to Europe and someone still does their own handicraft, and I suppose people would want a lot of money these days because it's a lot of work you put into those things. So I need to stop being so fucking lazy and make one for myself. There's the answer to that problem. I've resolved it in my own mind. Right, here we go. 13th of March 2024, written earlier today. 1:02 a.m. I've been in bed since 9 p.m. Little sleep and constant pee interruptions. I have an appointment with my private urologist tomorrow, which we discussed. So I actually went to bed early so I won't be such a wreck when I see her. I honestly can't go on like this. It's getting ridiculous. I was exhausted all day yesterday from lack of proper sleep and rest. Even my asthma started playing up tonight, almost on cue. Gah. Which is why I'm going to see the GP tomorrow to at least get my asthma medications, because it's autumn now and winter is coming, and that's when I backslide into obliteration, people. You can set the clock on me. 4 times a year, Mama T does a major backside, sliding backwards on her Heyoka horse ride through life into obliteration. But when she comes up for life, look out, people, look out. 9:44 a.m, exhausted, was up most of the night, only got some rest between 7 a.m. and now, which is 2 hours and 44 minutes, which is not enough sleep, people. Hello, I'm gonna go cray-cray if this keeps up. I set my alarm for 9 a.m, but lay here unwilling to get up just yet. That's how tired I was. And if I hadn't had the appointment, I just would have stayed in bed this morning. I just would have thought, fuck it, but I had to go. I had an appointment. I need to leave the house at 11:30 a.m. for my 12:30 p.m. appointment, and I don't know why that says 12:40. Oh, but Jesus. Little errors along the way. Let's fix it while we're at it, shall we? Mama T. Dear Goddess. 30. No. Ugh, now it's playing up even more. 3. Now I need the keyboard because the keyboard on this stupid thing doesn't work. Where are we? We're here. Sorry, bear with me, people. I shouldn't be doing this when I'm tired and you're hanging on every word, waiting for me to espouse upon some great epiphany, and nothing happens. Just psychobabble. For my 12:30 appointment, zombie Mama T can make it, but frankly, it's hard. So anyway, I'm back from that. I met a nice mother and daughter on the bus. Mother nearly got thrown across the bus because the bus driver was a frickin' maniac. So the mother and daughter and I bonded over her little near-death experience, which was not good actually. And anyway, apart from that lunacy, we've had a lovely day. Just going to plug us in, people. Plug us in. Plug us in. So I went and got my medication, and actually there was a special on a kind of face powder, a particular brand of face powder I use, 40% off, so I shouted myself one of those as well. So that was a bargain. Then I went and got lunch, so I've had a lovely day, I really have. Yes, Charlie. Charlie says, I didn't have a lovely day, Mama. I was on my own all day, you meanie poo bear. I know, Charlie. That was not good for you. But I'm here now, right? She's got the pip with me. She's got the pip with me, I can tell. Anyway, where were we? Let me just scroll down. I lost it again. 13th of March 2023. From a group on Facebook by Roland Ball, Resolving Complex Trauma and PTSD. Quotes, "You can set an intention to want to heal, and it certainly starts there, but you will first have to remove yourself from all toxic environments before you will have enough energy to actually work on your healing. Otherwise, much of your energy is expended in managing a compromised situation." And that is extremely true. I found that to be very, very true. You can't heal when you're surrounded by freaking assholes. You really can't. And the only way to do that is to get yourself free of them. And sometimes when it's your family of origin and you're surrounded by them in every term, it's not so easy to get away from them. And so you can't heal, and the whole thing goes round and round in a spiral of absolute despair and desolation and destruction, and sometimes leads to your own death. So it's a very, very frightening situation to be in, and I've lived through that myself, so I know what I'm talking about here. Here I write, truth, been there, barely surviving verminous entities and their henchmen and women. I did not even begin to heal until the worst of them all died by natural attrition. It's 13 years later, well, 14 years later now, pardon me, and some days I still struggle, but it's a journey to wholeness, and I'm striving very, very hard to get my life back to how it should have been when I was a young girl, happy, surrounded by people who love me, and a measure of success under my own undertakings that I can take pride in, and peaceful. Did I mention happy? And maybe even prosperous one day. It's a psychedelic dreamer's dream, but I've been dreaming it for 59 years almost. Almost in 1 month it will be 59 years. Manifesting joy, people. Here's a photo of my beautiful Beauregard when he was alive. Looking around the garden. He was doing that a lot actually the last year of his life. It's very meditatively just zoning in and out. I guess I should have realised that something was not quite right with him. But, you know, older people and dogs do that. Zone in and zone out. I've been zoning in and out all my life, actually. Here's a photo of me looking rather contented with Charlie on my shoulder on a walk through the forest behind my house, I think. So, wearing my Yoda pendant I cast myself, which made me feel very successful. Here I write, walking through the forest for the dog's sake. He was disappointed that Mama T had to go to the city for more jewellery supplies. It's hot as hell, but Beauregard needs his walkies. And here's a photo of my new crucible and crucible holder for melting silver. You can use it to melt gold if you have it too. But you need a separate crucible for each thing. So one for gold, one for silver, one for copper. You can't mix them when you're melting. So I need to buy some more crucibles actually, and which are the little that little porcelain bowl you see there. So yesterday I had a very expensive disaster with my Smith little torch. The tongs that came with the crucible slipped and molten silver splattered everywhere. Fortunately, I was not hurt, but it melted holes in my hoses. New hoses cost $445. Ugh. On special at the moment at AJS, I can buy an entire new torch with hoses and tips for $385 plus GST. So about the same price. I must find out how much they are at the moment because I need to buy another one. I'm going to have to bite the bullet and buy another one. It's been over a year, people. I am on my last nerve about the mishap and now needing a new torch kit so I can melt silver, which I've made do with using MAP gas, propane gas. I've been using that, which works fine, but I would like to have the correct equipment, make life easier or better or whatever. I'll have to wait a few months before I commit to another torch with the precious hoses. Erg. But I did buy this crucible holder so that I never slip up with molten silver ever again. I will buy MAP gas at Bunnings and have a bit of a melt sesh later, as I want to complete my ring that I have in a mould. And then I have, this is from Instagram, so I have all these hashtags. Some of them are quite funny how I rave on. Moving on is not the same as giving up. Casting blues. Just keep going. Buy my jewellery so I can afford this new habit. No one's bought my jewellery, people. I was born under a lucky star, and last but not least, creativity is life. Well, I enjoy my creativity, if nothing else. 12:02 p.m. Well, I achieved one thing just now. Trimmed Bobo's nails, very long and sharp, with my Dremel grinding attachment. Bobo is traumatised. I am traumatised. It wasn't so bad, but he goes savage like a wild dog every time it's nail clipping time. We are both in recovery now. He still needs a bath. That can happen tomorrow. I am not going to push the envelope too much, lol. So he could be a pain in the ass, my little Bobo, even though I miss him every day. He could be problematic, but anyway. This morning I had messages from my beautiful childhood friend. I am so happy to hear from her. It's been months. True friendship never dies but picks up wherever we left off. Always. I have missed her. We are separated by time and space and the Tasman Sea, but true loving friendships are eternal. To you, my beautiful friend. 13th of March 2022. Trigger warning, child sexual abuse and religious abuse. So, go and have a nice cup of tea and a lie down if you're not in a good headspace to hear me rave on about pedophiles. But here we go. Good morning from hell, smiley face. I woke up at 6:45 a.m. Unusual, but still feel tired, so might go back to the unconscious realms for a while. It's a beautiful morning, however. Have a beautiful day wherever on earth you are. I watched an exorcism movie last night, The Exorcism of God, which cleverly pointed out the perfect possession of members of the Vatican. Then I woke up to my Facebook memories of Cardinal George Pell. The coincidences and synchronicities are never accidental, people. But it's not just the Catholic Church infested with evil pedophiles and their enablers. it's everywhere. And those of us child survivors who were gifted by the gods to become older, wiser, but ever fragile women and men are still struggling to attain real love, basic respect, and striving for our much needed, much deserved, sacred, beautiful, harmonious, and loving lives. It's getting absurdist, trying to turn shit-stained treachery and evil-tainted existences into godlike, sanctified, primordial reclamations of our souls, hearts and minds, in brackets, spiritual gold. But the Tanya is doing it, moment by moment, day by day, finding her way, holding her sway, and commanding her spirit to continuously heal and perfectly align, even with all the gaping shallot chasms in her body and soul, broken but kintsugi'd. A strange creation indeed, and still, even in my rage, pain, recurrent cascades of trauma, beautiful and believing in a better paradigm. Daughter of the gods, delusional, desultory, salty, but sanctified. I hand my sword to the Holy One. This earth needs every angel and every reconsecrated demon with their hands on the deck. We need to clean and purify and purge, then resurge with so much light and love that we create a safer world for all life forms. And so it begins. What are you doing there, Charlie? 13th of March, 2021. Just put a light on it. The sun's dropped low, but now it's a bit darkish in here. 13th of March, 2021. Today, I'm offering myself in service. There we go. Let there be light, and the light was blinding. Today I'm offering myself in service to Creator, or Great Spirit, or God, whatever you comprehend that energy to be. I'm starting my own spiritual circle with a view to create a group of like-minded people who can support each other in these dystopian times. A safe and sacred space for people like me who are attuned to their inner guidance and in service to God in all his or her manifestations. So far, only my 2 closest friends are attending. That is wonderful. The power of 3, smiley face. I hope others find their way to our group so we can begin in sharing stories, knowledge, lived experiences of all things spiritual, as we have not found support or even basic respect in our organised religions of choice. Sad but true. So it's time to celebrate in a new way. Small groups sharing in wisdom in a peaceful, joyous way. Inclusion, not othering, in the form of intellectual elitism or monstrous bigotry. So I will meet with my friends, and if we are only ever a tribe of 3, that is fine with me. But if more souls seek the deep nourishment that comes with being seen and accepted and respected, then they are welcome to join us at 3 p.m. at Orley Park. One love, one consciousness in the multiverses, smiley face. And unfortunately, during the peak of COVID, everyone was too terrified to meet and no one supported my little spiritual circle. But my little circle of three, Lynn, Jared and I, enjoyed meeting and going to various little spots. And, a few times before we realised we were the only ones that were ever going to show up. But I'm grateful for their support, and we had a bit of fun, and that's what life is about, actually. Having a bit of fun and camaraderie and friendship and being interested in similar things. And here I write here, find your vibe, find your tribe. What have I done? I cleaned the keyboard and now I lost the whole kit and caboodle. Oh dear goddess. All right, wait a minute. I know what page we were on. I can get us back there. Mama T. What were you doing, Mama T, you crazy chickie? I was being fabulous, darlings. I was multitasking. I was achieving the unacceptable and the improbable and the unlikely. Here we are. Here we are, my darlings. We're back in the game. Just got to scroll down to where we were. Right, a bit further. I showed you that. We showed that. We read that. We did that. We did that. Ah, yes, here we are. Find your vibe. Find your tribe. I release all soul contracts and physical or sexual quantum entanglements with false trickster people. Only pure hearts and minds may sit at my table or lie in my bed. It is a lesson worth repeating. Suffer no liars, fools, or incongruent ones. Wash away the psychic vampires and other verminous infestations. Let go, let God. Shabbat Shalom. Smiley face. 13th of March 2020. My doctor says the next phase of my therapy shall be focused on helping me to attract more good into my life rather than vile abusers who are classist, condescending, or disrespectful. I have had a lifetime of that. I look forward to more manifestations of goodness, smiley face. He says he will keep my recent reports on my file, as they are valuable indicators of my current life situation. I know he is ethical and trustworthy. I feel supported and safe with him, which is a rarity when it comes to dealing with other humans, even professional ones. He acknowledged that I have every reason to have such distrust in humanity. I feel like I am ready to move forward in a new direction. No idea what or with whom, but I feel positive for the future. I just need to get stronger in my body and recalibrate my powerful inner core. Life is beautiful. I just saw a massive big crow fly onto my eaves here, which is why you saw me go like that. The crows have been very busy today, Charlie. I've had a lovely day. I had lunch with Crystal, whom I have not seen for a long time. We talked about coronavirus and how it's so overblown. Then I had my debrief with my psychiatrist, and he agreed that it is not as serious as the government is making out, but is, however, more contagious, as the symptoms are no worse than the average cold, but it is contagious as most people don't realise they have it. I told him, I feel that it is government fear-mongering and just another way of controlling the masses. Even throwing money at us with a stimulus package seems weird. Something much bigger is at play here. I long felt this was a test of some social experiment. The toilet paper hoarding, just one of the symptoms at play. Anyway, washing hands and staying away from large crowds is sensible. Then I responded to my friend Kellyanne, who actually hasn't interacted with me much on Facebook for a long time now. Hope she's okay. I refuse to live in fear. I have lived through so many horrors. Seriously, what is one more? When my date with Lady Death is finally consummated, it will be far beyond my control, unless I suicide, and even then, that process was interfered with. Life is fragile, has always been fragile. Coronavirus or some other ridiculous thing that comes along, I intend to live as freely and joyfully as I can, with my obvious constraints that have cost me lots of superficial fucking friendships lately. I am out dancing, enjoying myself as much as possible. Life is life, and it goes on. Hugs. I have struggled to breathe for over 8 months. It was not pretty and took every ounce of strength out of me and made for some pretty crazy writing sprees on Facebook. But I am slowly improving now. Thank God. Well, that was a long, hard haul, that struggle. We are living through very fraught times as a collective. We have had bushfires, drought, flooding, and a volcano eruption in White Island in New Zealand since September last year. I got hammered with bad asthma from the beginning of the bushfire season. I had to resort to antibiotics and going back on Seretide, a steroid to keep the airways open. Even after the antibiotics finished, the last few days have been hard, as although I was breathing easier, I got beset by a dark, dank depression. Last night I felt better, but it was frankly very scary. The last attacks by members of the Queensland Jewish Board of Deputies really set me back too. It was cruel and unnecessary othering, but fuck them, vile morons. Then the ongoing fear collective, complete with toilet paper hoarding of ignorant masses with coronavirus. I mean, the whole thing was insane, people. It was utterly insane. That whole year was probably the most insane year I have ever lived through in my life. And I've lived through way worse insanity than that, trust me, growing up with my family of origin. So it was a bit astonishing what we were put through as a collective. I was so sick a week and a half ago with some cold or flu virus that I thought I might actually die this time. But no, here I am, fully, vibrantly recalibrating my body and psyche after so many hits. And it wasn't COVID, it was just a cold or a flu. So I'm surviving the zombie apocalypse by getting through each day, avoiding contact with other humans, who generally cannot be trusted to do right by me, as has been proven a multitude of times. Were it not for my true friends, I would not have survived this far at all. I hope I don't get coronavirus, as just that flu was scary enough. My immune system really struggled, as I had already been so unwell since the surgery last June. But I refuse to live my life in fear. At least with my respiratory system being as damaged as it is, it would be a quick death. Quick, but not necessarily gentle. Anyway, thank you again to Jim Carrington, who found me via my YouTube channel here that I'm speaking to you from, who's in America, who commented on one of my videos back in 2022 when I was desperately ill with my lungs again, not COVID, and suggested I drink mullein tea. That did heal me, astonishingly so. I mean, it knocked me for a six. It was hard going for a couple of weeks, but it brought the most icky things off my lungs, and I did begin to get better and improve. So, Jim, if you still watch my videos, wherever you are, to you, beautiful soul, for having my back and healing Mama T, psychedelic dreamer. I'm grateful to you. But now I'm recovering, I must focus on the positives. I have had an enormously difficult few months, finding out who in my life was true and decent, and discarding those people who showed their true colours. That is a byproduct of chronic ill health. You find out who really loves you and has your back, a painful but valuable lesson. So now I'm back in the driving seat of my own body, taking up the reins and charging forwards into the unknown. I will be focusing on finding those beings, who treat me with honour and integrity, and if no one is around, going forth alone, as I have always done. Life is too short and too precarious to waste on vile morons or capricious tricksters. I realise how many people hate me for no reason other than I am strong, courageous, and authentic. Many want me dead or to simply go away. Well, once again, the gods have pulled me through at a time when the entire world is living in fear of a modern plague and losing their minds. Even the wannabe elite have proven themselves feckless and reprehensible. I would laugh about it if it weren't so utterly shameful. Here's looking at you, Queensland Government, and Anastasia Palaszczuk, and all your wormid, feminist little henchmen and women. Shameful is what they are. So here I go on my road to nowhere, stumbling on the path that is rocky and treacherous, head high, eyes on the horizon, as even I don't know what magic or mystery or sublime beauty might still be available to me down that potholed track. I always had high hopes, even in the worst of times. The apocalypse is a gift after all. to constantly choose life and to choose dignity and, of course, to choose love. Even if the only love I can get has to be cultivated from deep within my own soul. March 13th, 2019. I fixed the left-hand side of my couch with the new buckle. That's the thing that pushes a footrest out and puts it back. Yay! Now both sides have a footrest. My other little jobs today were fixing a mirror to a little mosaic I bought for $2 in reverse garbage for my large fish pond, which honours La Sirène. La Sirène is the voodoo goddess of the sea, a siren, a mermaid. Apparently, she likes a nice comb and a mirror. Must get her a little plastic comb from somewhere, or make something that represents a comb. Whatever it is, it'll have to be waterproof because it'll go in the top of my fish pond. I've put a little mirror there for her so she can look pretty as she's brushing her hair. So I intend someday to mosaic a beautiful mermaid all around the outside of the pond, but that might be beyond my skill set. I do think it would look pretty if I can manage it. As a descendant of seafarers, I am very fond of mermaids. I even got to meet King Neptune when we crossed the equator on the Fair Star when I was 8 years old. I've got terrible niggling pain in my jaw, which means I either have a cyst brewing or an abscess brewing, or I bit down too hard on my sleep. I'll have to keep an eye on it because I'm actually really wrung out, I'm feeling very depleted, and that could be why I may have an infection brewing. Just occurred to me because I can feel it going neat, 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 while I'm talking to you. Would explain why I've been so unwell. And anyway, I dread anything going wrong with my teeth because it's been a long, hard battle for many years too. Anyway, I segue. Sorry, I just responding to the pain. For some reason, I have a photo of that event and everyone, including the crew, dressed up as Poseidon, or King Neptune, and his royal family looked rather traumatized. I can't remember what occurred. It was supposed to be a party. Now I'll scroll down and show you that photo that I pulled out of my album of everyone looking quite traumatized at the party where we celebrate crossing the equator. Can you see all their faces? They all look stunned as mullets, don't they? Here's me, even making a bit of a scowly face, and the lady there looking behind her shoulder, king and queen looking. She doesn't look too upset. She looks like she's trying not to laugh, but yes, everyone looks rather sour-faced at all. So I captioned it, crossing the equator on the Fair Star, party for King Neptune. Look at all the happy faces, laughing my ass off. It was a very weird vibe. It was like we'd entered some kind of almost other dimension. I still to this day don't know what caused us to look all so distressed and annoyed. Odd. Anyway, my mother often spoke of the Lorelei who inhabited the river Elbe that runs through Hamburg and, of course, the river Danube. I never met a mermaid in real life, but one was allegedly spotted in Israel a few years ago. Who knows? Maybe they are interdimensional beings that pop up from time to time in oceans and rivers. There is too much folklore going back to ancient times. They even appear in cave paintings in places that used to be beneath sea level. So there must have been more frequent sightings over the millennia. I also fixed the holes in the old spa bath that used to be a fish pond, but I now use it as a swimming pool for the dog and all the visiting wild birds. The crows and kookaburras really love that pool. Hopefully it will be fully cured tomorrow so I can fill it up and let them all cool down. It always fills my heart with joy to see them swimming and splashing and shaking out their tail feathers. And why is this not plugged in? Oh, sure, I plugged it in. I plugged in my iPhone, that's what I did. No, it is plugged in. What's going on here? No, it isn't. It is not plugged in. The cord was there, but it wasn't in. Right, we'll just fix the situation here. Fixing the situation. I'm reviewing the situation. We've got to wait for it to tell me again that it's not plugged in. And it hasn't done that, so it's happy. All right. It's going to be an obedient laptop today. That's nice. Where was I? Filling my heart with joy watching the birds. Yeah, see? It did. Contrary-wise. Bloody gin in the machine. Alright. Twice we have done it. It can just behave now. Dear Goddess. The scrub turkeys at my front gate and the crows have been very active today. Well, I guess it's autumn and they're quickly, I suppose, building their nests in preparation for egg laying and all the spring babies popping up. They're all busy biddies, Charlie, but not you. You still won't engage with the boy birdies. No. You coming to Mama? You coming? Come to Mom. Come. I know. Come to Mama. Right, here we go. You happy birdie? Yes? Is you a happy bird? You just shut down my neck again. Did you just shut down my neck again? I thought I heard something go splotch. Yes, you did. You did the splotchy, potchy, poopy balm. Is you a happy birdie now? All right. Here I posted an article from thewest.com.au. Sex abuse counselling service slams Pell sentence. You got a very light sentence, which is utterly disgusting, by the way. And I wrote, absolutely agree. My psychiatrist was rather furious today too. Glad I'm not alone in feeling this was an utter disgrace and miscarriage of justice. And well, anyway, he's dead now. But that does not undo all the crimes and the harms he did to innocent young people, children. There's a big fat kookaburra sitting on the fence. It's a beautiful bird. So here we go. Cardinal Pell got 6 years with 3 years non-parole. Not good enough, but at least he will serve some years in jail for the rape of 2 children, one who grew up to suicide from heroin addiction, trying to cope with his perceived reality that he was a worthless, unprotected, and betrayed child by a man of the cloth, an archbishop, no less. The blood of innocence in the multitudes is staining the hallowed fonts of the Catholic Church. It pours from our eyes and orifices. The dead are screaming for justice, and the living survivors are exhausted from fighting for our very own lives, and we see, once again, a lenient sentence. Fuck you, pal, and Leifa, and in my own childhood, a special fuck you to Trevor Singh, Case van der Graft, the ship's steward on the Fair Star, another one on the Alanis on the return voyage from Germany. Just going to interrupt a little bit. I don't know if you can see them through my window, but there's Cookie, and there's the two crows, and over there's Turkey, and one of the crows was sitting up above Kookaburra's head, harassing the hell out of him as he's sitting there on the bough of the tree. So, kind of an interesting augury there. All birds of prey, all sort of having a bit of a fight. So, I mean, the scrub turkey isn't a bird of prey, but the crows and the kookaburra technically are. Anyway, where were we? Every filthy man that treated my child's body and mind as a sexual object of desire or gratification. Fuck every woman, including and especially my mother and half-sister, who blamed me, the victim, for being a strange little girl when they knew what was happening to me. Angela, as it was done to her. What was my reward for standing up and being counted during the will dispute? She declared me dead. Well, you disgusting, vile cunt, I am very much alive, and I will see you in hell. Wait for me. By the way, my half-sister is still living. When I turn 59 on the 12th of April, she will turn 74 on the 13th of April. So we were very close on birthdays, and we were both victims of the same perpetrator. And so we had a lot in common, and one would have thought that being 15 years older, she might have been a little bit more protective of me instead of gaslighting and slandering and victim blaming. But no, alas, no. So, hence my quite reasonable rage towards her still to this day. The last two survivors of that perverted family. One walks in darkness, shaded by her false construct of wealth and elitism and respectability. She actually went on to protect another friend of hers whose husband got caught with child pornography on his computer. She seemed to find that very okay and was quite protective of him too. So, come on, seriously? It's sick and it's evil and it's depraved, people. The other baby sister walks in light, surrounded by her own darkness that was shrouded upon her the day she realised at 6 years old that monsters are real and were in her own core bloodlines. People scorned me and abused me all my life as I carried the stain of a child unloved and unprotected. But I grew back from the brink of death a dozen times or more. I walked my zombie walk, staggering through life on psych meds because I could not shake off my reality. If not for Lynn and Jared and later on Julie, who heard my discarnate spirit seeking help as I lay dying from my own suicide attempt, 'cause some weird motherfucker, let's call it God or my higher self, would not let me leave this life just yet. Stymied by the capricious, treacherous, deceitful gods. So, yeah, I live to see the glory of the Lord bring down his own putrescent priests, to see the world wake up to its own filth and barely begin to purge itself of the vermin that cloak themselves in high society, rabbis gabardine, leafers shaitel. A shaitel is a wig a very religious Orthodox Jewish woman wears over the top of her hair to disguise her hair. Trevor Singh's maroon suit and Case's dandiest cravats, my foul half-sister's lawyer's garb that cloaked her own lies and betrayals of her baby sister. I am coming for you, the living and the dead. You shall have no peace until I see the paradigm shift that our society finally protects all children. All the children in their third world countries and all the children in privileged white conservative hells not of their making. The children in asylum camps, the children of princes and kings of pop. All children deserve a safe, happy childhood. I love you, Miss 5, and the lost and betrayed Miss 6, 7, 8, 9, and Miss 15. The little girl that no one cared enough to nurture safely, to honour and protect. I love you, Ms. almost 54, or well, almost 59 now. You gutsy, wild, wonderful, magical woman, you. I stand in awe of you, who never completely quit believing in a better life for herself or a better world. You lived through so much ghastly horror and heartache, but you survived it to see this day a beginning again. Restart, kickstart, mangle our existence full throttled into the sunset. Sunset, right as I'm speaking here. Never doubt your power as a woman or your desire for life. L'chaim, gorgeous girl. Sending myself some kisses. Some kisses for Charlie too. Okay, here it goes. I actually woke up this morning with the words, "Today I prosper," in my head. My brain was still muddled with sleep, so I asked myself, what? Why would I prosper today? I have barely enough money on my pension to get through each fortnight. What sick, perverted Pollyanna bullshit joke are you playing on me now? Charlie says, "Wasn't me. It wasn't me, Mama T." I staggered out of bed to the bathroom to relieve myself of pent-up uric acid. I went outside to relieve Betty of her coop and to let her play in the morning heat. Today I prosper. I smirked at my dying brain and its quirky little Jedi mind tricks. I hobbled wearily, hobbit-footed, back in the house to boil water on the stove. Still need to purchase a new kettle as well as a toilet seat. Rock and roll, babies. I knew I was still not synapsing, as that tea took a long time to be made. Prosper, but shh, it could happen. I am still alive, after all. Then I saw the live news of Pal's poultry sentencing. So there ended my hopeful morning tide residual fantasies of prosperity. I flew into a slow boiling rage and gave my dog a soliloquy on the fact that there are thousands upon thousands of dead men and women dancing in their own post-haste, post-morbid, fucking eternal prosperity right now. One dead boy in particular. Beauregard the deer looked up into my face as though I had gone quite insane. I also know my neighbour Timsah was eavesdropping from his back patio. But who cares? The truth will out, and it streams down my freckled, tortured flesh like the knives of angels, and demons still gnaw at it and twist my words and call me liar. But now their time has come, the walrus always did say. Shut up, Lewis. You are segueing my stream of consciousness psychobabble. But alas, he is right, of course. So today I prospered by asking my rather bemused doggy for a cuddle, #consent, and I lifted him into my arms and we spun clockwise and widdershins, and he did not enjoy widdershins, so growled at me. Widdershins is anti-clockwise, by the way. It's an old witchy expression of anti-clockwise widdershins. So we went with a diurnal variation and the music of the spheres for a few more rotations. Sufi mystics are onto something. Anyway, that did not last long, as I simply don't do dizzy, and neither does the dog. I have a debrief, how synchronistically perfect, of my predatory gods this Arvo, so I cleansed the filth of my own former family and that of Pal and every other paedophile, living and dead, by taking a shower and washed my body and offered up a prayer for healing, peace, joy, and authentic, good, kind, respectful, affectionate, tolerant loves to enter my life. I expressed my gratitude to the brave souls who love me already and have stood by me no matter what. Then I prospered in my own soul. penniless, luckless in real life, unable to attract a safe, adoring partner. But oh, my darlings, the gods have my battle-scarred back. May I merit to witness more justice be wrought against our oppressors, and may peace, shalom, be my eternal reward. Amen. V'salah. 13th of March 2018. I had a lovely day with Crystal and Jared yesterday. Crystal cooked us Tom Gum Gai? Thai chicken soup. Was it Tom Yum Gai? Anyway, Tom Gum Gai. If you're Thai, please forgive me my mispronunciating of it. But it's Thai chicken soup for dinner with galangal and lemongrass. It was delicious. She also prepped up a massive stir fry, but we were satiated with the soup. We each got tiddly on 1.5 glasses of Mum champagne that was quite palatable. Usually real champagne is so dry it tastes like paint stripper and we have to water it down with juice. We were surprised we were drunk on it. It must have had a high alcohol content. Later, Crystal and I had cramps in our stomach, so something we ate or drank caused mild tummy pains. Jared was fine though. To be fair, it was probably the bloody champagne which got us drunk. I don't get cramps on my tummy on Jack Daniels, that's just saying. But anyway, you have to laugh sometimes. We sat around in the evening. I finished off the fairy so Crystal can send them, well, that should say fairies plural then, can send them to her friend David in England. She forgot to take them. Crystal gave me a lovely adult colouring book of witches. That was beautiful. 13th of March 2017. You ready to go sleepies, Charlie? You sleepy birdie bum bum. She's scratching her chin with her claw. It's really quite delightful. We were at 13th of March 2017. Ye gods, it is raining. Well, a light drizzle. But I haven't seen Venusian tears in a Persephonic age. Ha ha, made that word up. But you will get my vibe, my lovely tribe. Whomever did the rain dance, bless you. But we need to dance a little bit harder. Not me, sore leg, killing myself with epic tribal wildness. Yada yada, boom chicka wow wow. Pain does weird shit to my brain. Bear with me, it gets better. Healing. I have decided to plant an edible and or bush tucker verge garden on the large swathes of council land out the front of my house. Didn't end up doing it. It will be a lot of work establishing it, but will provide food and happiness to all people and animals in my area. That it would, but it's expensive and a lot of work. Jared is keen to help me plant veggies and herbs, etc. too. It was a great idea, but I don't have the time or the energy or the resources to do it, you know. But I would have liked a whole front to be turned into bush tucker and food-bearing crops. Would have been lovely, wouldn't it, Charlie? It would have been lovely. And the birdies would have come and they would have eaten all the nice edible things and left me with the weeds. because that's what you're doing now, you lot. And the possums. Anyway. Here I write, I posted a photo of my backyard with a few drops of rain, and I write, "Come on, Thor and Odin, this little dummy spit is just embarrassing. Bring forth a decent precipitation. We are parched here, dry, vacuous husks. We desire water. I love you. I am sorry. I forgive you. Thank you," which is a Ho'oponopono Hawaiian prayer. Here I post a photo of me with a mortar and pestle, grinding coffee beans by hand as the bar mix grinding component is kaput. Hard work, but this is how our grandmothers did stuff. Oi. 13th of March 2016. Irony. Wishing for death most of my life, then when I get really sick for weeks on end, fighting for breath and life like a crazed bitch. Because Mum is incongruent like that, Charlie. They say the mechanism to breathe overcomes every other reflex in the body. I should know. I have had the breath squeezed out of me more than once. By homicidal maniacs, not very good ones. I mean, still here. Fuck you, Dale Johnston, Terry Rosilio, and David Davidson. My mother and my ex really should have paid for quality hitmen instead of desperate losers like you. Then, not breathing due to bouts of asthma and or bronchitis, obstructive sleep apnea at night, this probably brought on by my initial strangulations. Not breathing due to occasional panic attacks. The cold, clammy sweating and vomiting as you realise you have gone so shallow that you gasp for air. I am addicted to breathing. I like my lungs almost full, shallow mouth breather, with clear, clean, crisp air full of oxygen and other goodies. Having watched my mother dying and my former stepfather die, those last few breaths just gently flow into silence. Fuck. It was scary as hell. Thank God Jared was with me, especially when Case was death rattling, then called my name. My mother, the monster, yelling at Case to get up now as she had his car, asking him where the dancing girls were. God, he kind of deserved it, but really, as he lay dying, was it really necessary for her to traumatize all of us? What is love or remorse or vengeance in the face of a horrible decaying body and mind? Hardly satisfaction. Pathetic, really. Crystal says she won't design my tattoo if I'm going to use my advance to pay for it. What the fuck? Like she is my mother, still from beyond the grave, controlling my adult decisions and how I choose to spend my money. I must be punished for wanting my freedom of self-expression, my art, lol. I will sell something and spend my money on what I want. I am dying. Time is fleeting. I am left in a dry desert of decay. alone. If I want to adorn myself, I will. Did I prevent her from following her dreams, even if it meant I might never see her again? Hell no. I will find a tattooist when I can afford it. I will get an amazingly beautiful tattoo. I don't need anything from anyone that is not given with love and respect, honour. I might even get more. Simple things make me happy, but most of my dreams need cold hard cash, like a move to Byron so I can breathe salt air. Now that is a huge manifestation. I just rang an old childhood friend, lol. It's not like we are still good friends, trying to work out what triggered me to do it. Then watching episode 5 of Cuckoo, I realised the dad looks a bit like him. Nearly fell off my couch laughing. Fortunately, he didn't answer. He got paranoid after his brother added me on Facebook. They were all kind of circling like vultures for a while there. It was a little bit odd. By the way, Cuckoo is about this young American hippie marrying this guy's daughter in Thailand. She brings him home and Dad is totally unimpressed. Must find my true love in Byron, just to piss off my parents in absentia. Even post-death, those losers would freak out. Man, they hated hippies. Which also reminds me, I'm going to focus on getting the money for my mermaid tattoo. Next goal, lol. After I've paid the rego and serviced my car, 'cause priorities, man. And I never did find my true love in Byron. Do you know why? Byron itself is one of my truest, greatest loves. Byron, the place, and not the people living in it. Kellyanne wrote, forget the mermaid tattoo. Go for some mermaiding lessons. Great for your lungs, exercise, salt air, socialising, new circles of people to befriend, so many benefits. You're already pretty to look at. You don't need tattoos for adornment, smiley face, which is very sweet of her. But she doesn't understand it's part of my mana, my shamanic walk. And I actually had forgotten, to be honest, that I wanted a mermaid on this right shoulder to counterbalance the earth and air and energies. I wanted the water energies on this side. So earth and fire, water and air, I guess, with little bubbles blowing up. Yes, I may do it one day, but I need moolah, and I need moolah now. Anyway, I replied to Kellyanne, I will get it eventually. Need to balance the fire, earth, air energies of my burning bush tattoo, but can't rely on my kids for anything, although I do have one of her nude paintings on my wall. She is a wonderful artist when she puts her mind to it, and quite frankly, it was a bit fucking low life and shitty of her, given that I asked her to design my tattoo, and she's perfectly capable of, since she's such a wonderful artist, but no, she had to decide to be a cow about it, right? Anyway, at the appointed time, I've got plenty of other artist friends, or, here's a kicker, I could even design it myself, since I've become somewhat of an artist in my older age. What do I need her for? Absolutely nothing. Little bitch couldn't even stick with me when I told her I thought I was dying last year. And here I am. Now it's March. 6 months later, and I'm still floundering in the Shadowlands, feeling quite unwell most of the time. And where's the support from my darling daughter? Zip, zero, de nada, nothing, nicht, nein. It's disgraceful is what it is. After all I did for her all the years, including giving her my brand new car to use for a few years. It's just so wicked. It's just so putrid and wicked. But never mind. I invite myself to open up to true and great, and adoring loves who do have my back and front and sides and will support me in my life quest for the rest of my life here on planet Earth. Must be someone out there who loves me. I suspect there's more than just someone. There's a few in my life who do genuinely love me. So, it is what it is, people. Beauregard has driven me nuts tonight, and I'd do anything for him to drive me nuts again, my beautiful boy. He keeps jumping up on the couch, clambering on the cushions, which he has peed on previously to my horror, chewing my mohair rug, nibbling at a package that holds my mother's tarot cards, and as he loves chewing paper, he won't take no for an answer. He even somehow got hold of my little German wooden Humpelmann dolly. He chewed the wooden bead off her string. I rescued her just in time before he destroyed her. Pardon me. I wondered how he had gotten his jaws into the window sucker that I stepped on earlier tonight. I'm so short of air chasing him up and down the house that I have put him outside on time out. You need to go in your cage soon, Charlie. I know. It's night time. She's getting fractures because it's dark. It's dark and she needs to sleep. All right. Not long to go now, Charlie. Work with me, baby. He was so incredibly happy to have me home today. I think he really missed me while I was gone for mojo burning yesterday. He has been quite well behaved until tonight's frenetic antics. I have realised that he loves me now. I cuddle him and he growls and snarls until I growl and snarl back. Then he gently licks my face. He knows who his mama is, the fucking boss. Oh, thanks for that, Charlie. I know you don't understand that when you walk on the keyboard, you make everything flip out. Here we go. Where are we? Where are we? Charlie, what have you done? The fucking boss, or not so fucking, celibate boss. But at least he has given up trying to hump me this week. I took him to the dog park, but no other puppies were there, so he sniffed a few of the big dogs through the fence. It was not the same. He knew it, gave me the sad little gaze. I cheered him up with the promise of Harvey and Jared visiting tomorrow. Harvey was Jared's little fox terrier dog. Kelly Ann wrote, "How long you been sick? Have you been to a doctor? What symptoms have you had? There might be more to it than a cold, So don't take the standard lazy-minded answer that it's just a cold if you've any inkling of a thought something else could be going on, even if it's just a nagging tiny doubt in the back of your mind. It's surprising how many people say, but I thought it would just be another bad cold and a waste of time to sit in an emergency room over, only to be told it was a false alarm, so I waited. And so many people sound surprised when they're diagnosed with severe pneumonia requiring oxygen therapy and IV antibiotics, or turn out to have a pulmonary embolism or heart attack when they thought symptoms of that could feel worse. In my experience, heart failure hurt 1 out of 10 compared to what I know discomfort to be all about. Honestly, I didn't even rate my pain at a 1 out of 10, which is why it took so long to diagnose me. People like us overlook shit like that quite easily because we hear others describe the pain as being the worst thing they've ever felt, and we assume that means the pain has to be worse than what we've felt before for it to be something serious like that too. We forget to account for the fact most of these people just have no idea how bad pain can really get, and we underrate our own according to this incorrect assumption. Please get yourself checked out by another doctor if you've already been and you have any concern still. I worry about people like us who underrate our discomfort in comparison to how most others would rate it if they felt what we go through. I replied, yeah, I will see the doctor this week. Had to wait until pension day tomorrow. Have to pay up front but get most of the money back on Medicare. I realised how sick I was when I came home from Mojo burning and could barely open my front door. The aircon was marvellous for dancing, but I was too ill to do my usual while dancing, and the air hurt my lungs more than I realised. Glad I went out though. It just hit me hard in the night air. I came home at 7:25 p.m. and just rested on the couch all night and yesterday. I got woken up this morning by some fucking epic douchebag banging on my house under my bedroom at 6 a.m. this morning, so I ignored it. I have a perfectly good front door and brass doorbell at the door. It really pisses me off being woken up by idiots pounding on the front of my house, especially as I have a no trespassing sign at my front gate. Kelly Ann replied, oh, I hear ya about paying up front then getting money refunded back. Works fine if you've got less than 5 specialists, but when you get up around the dozen mark, it just becomes a ludicrous thing to expect people to do. I used to plan 3 into one day so I could get them all done that are in the same vicinity to decrease fuel and parking cost, but now I can't do that. Seriously, like fucking over the environment and people with disabilities and illness. This government does. I replied, oh, hugs, sweetheart. No money or BP monitor needed. I have been crook for a month now. Started with stomach cramps, then migrated to my chest. In truth, I should have gone to the GP with my bad stomach pains. I will see her this week and get it sorted. No, because she was fucking useless. I had to fire her. That's how useless she was. I really am end stage, but when I told Crystal how sick I am, she laughed hysterically. My own daughter. I have been sick since very early childhood. Almost died of measles and or whooping cough at 4. My kids think I fake my illnesses or am a hypochondriac, which is seriously unfair and untrue. Even when I am well, I operate under par from most other people due to fatigue from obstructive sleep apnea, major depression, complex PTSD, chronic fatigue, arthritis, GORD, diverticulitis, polyuria, asthma, the only thing that has improved until now, homocystinemia from the kind of stress male CEOs get. Anyway, all good, still alive. But still alive and still crazy after all these years. So I must be meant to be here, smiley face. Sometimes it's not so funny anymore when I'm wrung out with my bladder. But then when I told my gynecologist, my urologist, that I need to preserve my Friday for my tribal moshing and my 4 Jack Daniels, so I can't take the tablet on that day if it will kill me, she burst out laughing. She said, "You go, girl. You keep doing that. What is it?" she said, "You call it tribal moshing." It's good exercise, but that too kills me. So I'm damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't. So I walk through the valley of the damned. Keep my head high, my eye on the sky, and dreaming of my true love partner to manifest, hopefully in the near future, because I'm the psychedelic dreamer and all that. Anyway, I write here, I love life now, even though for me every day is an enormous battle of will, guts, and glory. I am a warrior. So are you, so I know you get it. Hugs. I was responding there to Kellyanne, who suffers from CPRS, complex regional CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, and she's always writhing in agony, and it's terrible. Powerful, all-consuming urge to go to Byron, which means I need to sell something to pay for my rego so I can get out of here laughing my ass off. March 13th, 2015. I woke up in a euphoric, overflowing with love state. It's an overwhelming sensation, like a cup overflowing, but I might as well enjoy it. No money, rego expired, so we'll be taking the bus to the casino, drinking water tonight. There will be dancing. Money, or lack thereof, never keeps me from my dreams. I am abundance. I am blessed. And I am loved. Up, onwards and upwards to infinity and beyond. 2:36 a.m. Pesach is coming. Pesach is Hebrew for Passover. So is my 50th birthday. What is it about this time of year that I always end up flat broke? Oh well, same old pattern I can't seem to break. I had a happy day today. I got to talk to the man I adore, then received a lovely gift from Nigel, a beautiful book of cats. It was such a lovely surprise. I had another chat to Lynn, Crystal and Jared. I went out for a few hours and ran into Alma from the pub. It was lovely to see her. Then I went to buy milk before heading home and ran into Sol as Jabba were packing up after playing tonight. He said hello and we had a quick chat. A lovely man. they have a busy weekend playing for St. Paddy's Day. So I really did like Soul. He was a very lovely man, very, very sweet person indeed. Haven't seen him in years because I won't support that band because I don't like his other bandmate. But Soul indeed was a fine person. 13th of March 2014. A friend from Irish Murphy's Days posted a meme called Shit Glitter. I'll show it to you. I thought it was hilarious. I laughed until I cried. Maybe I've got a small mind, but you know. What's funny about it is I always say I'm turning shit to spiritual gold, right? So she posted shit glitter. Shit glitter. It's a little gold pill that will, yes, literally make you shit glitter. This little pill is dipped in gold and filled with 24-carat gold leaves and will make your poo all glittery and sparkling at a price of $425 US. So that'd be about double that in Australian dollars. If, you know, you were into that, and I captioned it, spiritual gold, I shit you not. But I kind of have to laugh because when I was a teenager, my half-sister and my brother-in-law bought this liqueur that was alcohol, you know, like a liqueur, clear liqueur, but it had real gold flakes through it. Forget what it was called. It was actually quite a yummy liqueur. And because they gave it to me to drink a few times too. It was very nice. And real gold, by the way, when it's in very, very thin gold leaf form, real gold is indeed edible. So, you know you're a bit fucking opulent though when you're drinking and eating gold. 2:35 p.m. Just woke up and opened my eyes on the world. I had heaps of intense dreams, now vanished with the wind. Probably a good thing, as I feel knackered from my night thrashing mind. I went out with Creature last night. It was a bit of a fact-finding exercise as someone blew smoke up Creature's ass. I'm glad I came along, as there were some interesting facts she might have missed, but did not. We had a lovely time dancing, as is our wont, and met up with beautiful souls, which is my only currency these days, enjoying life and finding kindness in the midst of despair. Charles Bukowski would have raised his glass to me and died laughing. This place was tame by my previous experiences. I am loving life and grateful for real friends, men and women, enjoying the cards they have been dealt, and every now and then pulling aces out of their asses and grinning lopsidedly with a cigar, and still being dudes and dudettes with aplomb, even with the leakage. The master of the universe has a great sense of humour. Thank you, God, for letting me be me and loving me anyway. I'm feeling rather sad and a tad triggered after seeing Daniel Morecambe's killer. Daniel Morecambe was a little boy that was sexually abused and murdered by a serial killer here in Brisbane. After seeing Daniel Morecambe's killer has finally been indicted. I feel so sick that Daniel was murdered by a man who was so dangerous and evil, yet they let him out of jail after serving a mere 4-year sentence, leaving behind a swathe of victims of children and women. Queensland, the murderous state, right? Am I right? I'm right. I hope someone in the prison system kills this vile man. Life in prison is not enough justice for the level of malevolence he has perpetrated against not only Daniel, but all his surviving victims. A life sentence of hell for his surviving victims. I am grateful to be alive after a life of trauma, but sharing this world with such predators and their societal enablers is very, very difficult. Oh, sorry, Charlie. Please come forward, all those who have been and are still being abused, and fight for your right to safety and justice. We need a groundswell of people who are good, kind, and decent to fight the sick system that lets child molesters, rapists, murderers walk free among us. March 13th, 2013. I was just woken up by a revelation. I heard banging on my front door and ringing of my doorbell. So I threw on a dressing gown and ran to the door, threw it open and yelled, "This better be good," to be confronted by a tall, slim, smiling Pacific Islander who beamed at my possum face, squinting into the light at the stranger with my wild bed hair. He said, "Do you need any trees trimmed?" I glared. "No, mate, I can't afford it. I'm on a pension." His face fell in on itself with disappointment. I said, "Have you got a card?" He brightens and hands me one. I say, "Oh, Sonny, nice name." He says, "No, that is not me. That is who I work for. My name is Revelation. I am a good Christian man, and I won't rip you off." I peer at him, still half asleep and in some disbelief. "Revelation," say I. "Like the Bible?" He smiles, says, "Yeah." I say, "Like one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse?" His smile fades slightly. "Yeah." He asks me, "Where is your hubby?" I eyeball him, tell him he is at work. He says, "How is the family?" I eyeball him again and say, "They're good." He reaches his hand out, palm up. Nice, you can see my simian line there. Nice long hand, not very gnarly for a tree lopper. I notice his simian line slashing across his palm. I say, "Oh, you have a simian line." I show him my open palm. "Like mine. You are mad like me." Well, not quite mad, but it means that your heart and your head line are fused together, and so you have trouble with differentiating between your emotions and your logic, and your love life is usually quite fraught too. Since they're merged, you tend to attract not very nice people, which I'm hoping to change now that I'm getting older. But yes, it was a very strange thing. This man, I don't know what his real intentions were coming to my door, since he clearly wasn't a tree lopper. His hands were too pristine. Anyway, like mine, you are mad like me. We shake hands. He saunters away, offering to close the gate for Bella. That was my little Pomeranian dog. What a weird start to the day. 13th of March 2012. The Tanya is still trying to discover who my future man might be. Oh dear goddess, here we are, 12 years later. Still hasn't landed, honeys. My man still has not landed. But I am enjoying the sweetness from my platonic friends. I am grateful for their love at least. Que sera, sera. The future's not mine to see, but Hashem have to send me, but does Hashem, that means God, have to send me several teasers at a time to keep me permanently flummoxed and perplexed? I'm told my love will come to me in April. Hope he gets his act together in time for my birthday. Ha ha ha. I want him, 'cause unrequited love is so cruel. I hope he's finally the man I have been wishing, hoping, and praying for. Emet. So 12 years ago, I have no idea who that person might have been, or if I even met him, or what the actual fuck, but anyway, life goes on, people. Life goes on. Gail, Christina, Talia and I visited Mavis this arvo in QE2 Hospital after her surgery on Monday. She is doing well. However, I wish to know where the rest of the Brisbane Progressive Jewish Community Jew crew were. We were her only visitors. Brisbane Jewry, you fail to honour the most important mitzvah of visiting the sick, and I still remember how hard it was to get visitors for our Jewish patients in the Alzheimer's ward and Belmont Hospital psych facility. God forbid you lose your mind in this community. You're completely abandoned and left to rot, by the way. I expect our Jewish prisoners in jails are abandoned and written off too. So, shame on you. It's disgraceful how our modern society eschews our long-held ethics as well as traditions. Our community wonders why we marry out or leave our community altogether. I can tell it's because there is such deficit in care for the poor, sick, and disadvantaged. The Tanya is not happy about this. Not happy at all. March 13th, 2009. Purim is over and I didn't get to eat any Hamantaschen this year. Hamantaschen are little biscuits that are stuffed with poppy seed puree or jam in the shape of three-cornered hats. They're called Haman's Pockets, and they're quite delicious. Anyway, oi, just as well, I'm on a diet. Me on a diet? Not possible. I must have been tripping balls in 2009. Me? Diet? Even the word has die in it. But anyway, on that lovely, humorous little note, my sweet ones, my beautiful ones, my blessed ones, my fellow citizens and people of Earth, here we are in the space-time continuum sharing planet Earth together and all other interdimensional entities. And a certain little birdie is nibbling on me, needs to go to bed. It's past her bedtime. I bid you all adieu. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are on the space-time continuum. And be at peace, be courageous, hold your line, and love your true beloved ones. Bye for now.